This is Tom Meyer, Superintendent, Bellevue Community School District in Bellevue, Iowa, coming you with this week's Believe in the Blue update, the Comet Highlights Edition. Comments from the board meeting and topics that were addressed at the board meeting on Monday night. All this information is also online at the district website. Feel free to go on there and check everything out. But a few things that we had Sam Van Gorp and Maria Darnell, our sign language interpreter, and Sam is our one of our 4-year-old preschool teachers. They talked about Deaf Awareness Week and actions they're taking within their rooms for students who have hearing impairments. Very informative presentation by them. And then Matt and Christy Yeager, parents of a couple of students in the program, were also there talking about the positive things with the program and what its purpose is overall. Excellent presentation by them, and the board had some great questions about how this is integrated, not just in the preschool, but for beyond for students as well. Then I shared information on enrollment. The official count date is October 15th. That's Sunday coming up. We're just verifying enrollments. There are different kinds of enrollments, but overall, the big enrollment number we look at are our resident students and then students overall within the district. Our resident students are students who live in our district and attend our school or even open and roll out. Our number is very small on that, 3. But then we also look at students who come into our district. We are positive overall by about 10 students compared to last year who are coming into our district and who are in the seats in our buildings that way. So that's a positive for our district. Once again, another growing number for us. And there's some data on the website in regard to that, in regard to the different counts and things like that, and how the budget is determined based on enrollments from people within our district, but also we get money then from other districts when their students open enroll or whole grade share into our district that way. So information in that way. We also talked about the new Bellevue Elementary building and the progress that's being made there. No, we have not started construction. The things that you may have seen off to the field to our east is the well, and it's for a geothermal well, trying to be efficient that way. For energy efficiency. Also have some rebates on that with the Inflation Reduction Act that we're working on. But they just drilled a test well, actually working on that. Really just testing out to make sure everything's going to work fine. Should we have a geothermal well here in the middle school, high school building from the addition in 2010 that is operating well. So that's what's going on there. Right now, we're just finalizing the floor plans and things, sending it out for another round of estimated bids in that regard, find out where our costs are at. Hopefully we are in that range. We believe we will be in that range and we'll adjust as needed, obviously, as well. But things are going well there. Right now, we plan on breaking ground hopefully in March of 2024. So you'll see a lot of action starting up in March of 2024. Bids will go out in January of 2024, come in February, award the bids, and then go from there. And anyone is able to apply for those bids. You'll see some notes from previous meetings we've had there. Anything we're talking about classroom size to restrooms to hallways to flooring, all these things are being determined right now in a very positive way with a steering committee of about 8 people from our district on there that way. We also talked about vehicles and where we're at with them. We have multiple Suburbans that way and buses and cars, and just looking to make sure that we're keeping those updated as time goes on. And you'll see that information there too. We have cars with 150 or vehicles with 150 to 200 plus thousand miles on them, all running well. Tim Roth does a great job of keeping things going as our transportation person. And then we also talked about facilities in the future. While we talk about the Bellevue Elementary building, they'll be open up in August of 2025. What are other facilities that we're talking about? There's a list of a plethora of ideas for other facility needs. Some are small things, some are big things, but you can see some of those online as well. We also approved a bond resolution to sell our bonds for the new building, and those will actually take place in October here. We'll actually close everything up on November 13th. Bids are due. Actually, bids are due November 9th, and we will actually award the bid. The board will on November 13th, and everything will be closed up by the holidays that way with bids. And we received a very good rating from S&P for our bids, one of the highest realistically in the state of Iowa that we can get. So that was a positive as well. We'll see how bids turn out, but we're looking for a positive turnout there too. We also talked about the model discipline policy for threats of violence or cause or incidents of violence from the state of Iowa, the Iowa Department of Education. We reviewed those as a board and we'll look to adopt those at our November meeting after reading them that way. I had a Comet curriculum item here as well. It was from the New York Times article about college enrollment and different kinds of college enrollments, not just a 4-year college anymore, but the 2-year college or other trade schools or other programs, and perspectives of parents, perspectives of students, the cost of those. At one time, the trend was everyone's going to a 4-year school. We want everyone to go to 4-year school. We also recognize the need for a trade school, whether that's a 2-year program, a year program, or less, or so many months. Those are all valuable things in trying to prepare our students for their future in some manner of what interests them and what they can do within their lives after they graduate from high school. We also get a lot of experience for students in this way through our work-based learning program, service learning as well. But the work-based learning program by Mrs. Weber has been an excellent program for our students. And several students last year who were working in work-based learning in a field are now either getting training in that field or they're actually working in that field. So that's a positive for our students, positive for our district, positive for our entire community. Also shared, we have school board elections on Tuesday, November 7th. Encourage you to go out and vote that way. There'll be information in the newspaper in the very near future, and also have some information in the weekly Comet in the near future. Shared some information from Senate File 496 on sexual orientation and gender identity, school, library, and curriculum materials. You see some of those things that came from the state of Iowa, and I summarized for our staff and for our board. It's about a 7-page, 8-page document and summarizing about 2.5 pages. Also look at pay in districts for administrators and others, and where the Bellevue Community School District lands. We are right at average or slightly below average. And then we had comments from building principals where Mrs. Hartung Schrader talked about the Blue Bandana program, kind of a mentoring program for younger students from older students in the elementary. And Mr. Raker talked about the work of Jessica Hinchin and Rick Kozel with that risk program and helping students stay on top of things that way and not falling behind. Then I also shared some information on upcoming extracurricular activities from the volleyball team opening up district play next Wednesday night. The football team having a game this Friday night that will determine their playoff status. Talk about cross country state qualifying to meet is next Thursday. They had their conference meet last night. And then we talked about the musical Wizard of Oz. I encourage everyone to come out to that the first weekend in November. It'll be a great show. We have students from a wide range of grades down to elementary school all the way up to seniors in high school. And there's a lot of roles within the musical itself, but also with set construction, lighting, and sound and everything. So I encourage you to come out to that the first weekend in November, that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On that note, I will let everyone go. Enjoy the nice weather today while it's here, because it sounds like it's going to turn rainy and a little cooler in the next few days. But take care. Have a great one. If you ever have any questions, please reach out to school at any time. Thank you very much.